Welcome back to Frankston Basketball Stadium for this NBL1 Round 9 clash, the second leg of a double-header. And it's the Ballarat Miners, 10-1, taking on the Frankston RSL Blues, who are 6-6, 50% record, a pivotal game for them today. I'm Damien Arsenis from the pickandroll.com.au, and joining me is Chris Ash. And Chris, we had a thrilling game leading into this one, an overtime contest between the Rush and the Blues. And for the Blues men in this one, this is just about a must-win game.
It doesn't come any harder than this, with the Miners rolling into town on a 10-1 for the season. Had a nice win at home last night. So they're looking, the Blues are going to, without Dan Trist in there, they're going to have some guys need to really step up to be competitive against Ballarat tonight, because they've got a stacked team, and we're going to really need to see some contributions across the board from the Blues if they're going to stay in touch with this loaded Miners lineup.
We talk about a loaded Miners lineup. Jerry Evans Jr., Josh Fox, Kwani signed with the Sydney Kings, Sam Short and Deng Akuth is the starting lineup for the Blues. We've got Lachlan Barker, Igor Hadziomировich, Damon Bozeman, Majuk, and Nigel Young. But what a matchup in the centre position. Majuk and Deng Akuth, the young upstart coming in, trying to establish himself in the NBL. And Majuk trying to get back to the NBL after a little used stint with the New Zealand Breakers last season.
Yeah, Majuk could be definitely trying to work his way back into a roster somewhere. Deng's got a spot, so he'll be looking to show his wares today. Majuk really needs to stand up for the Blues tonight.
The Blues get the first possession, and really team of contrasts. You've got the physically experienced lineup of the Blues, and you've got the youthful, long and athletic Ballarat Miners. Barker goes straight into Young. Just bullies his way in. Little step back is short, and he's annoyed with himself. But Dan Trist today. The flight back from China was delayed. He was expected to line up in this contest today. As short was short. Barker tries to go all the way. Bozeman nearly gets it back for the Blues, and it will go Ballarat's way. Sam Short. Kwani hands off. Short. He'll pull the trigger. There's Majuk cleaning up. And that's not a great way to start for the Blues. Unforced turnover. Hands it straight back to the Miners. And they've got some colourful footwear out there tonight. Yeah, this afternoon.
We're not going to miss a few of these players. But,
Fox has got the green.
Jerry's got the pink. Bright pink.
He wants to be noticed.
Really. Be like the footy players, if they run out on those sort of boots, they'd want to get a kick because they'd cop it from their coach and the opposition supporters. So
I asked my 5-year-old daughter, who loves pink and purples, would you wear a pair of those pink ones? She said no.
Yeah, she wasn't keen at all, was she? Yeah.
Tough shots off target. Akuth gets the rebound. Corner three. Kwani. We're doubling up a few times tonight. Majuk, Kwani. And it's the ladder getting the scoring underway here at Frankston. Of course, last time the Blues were on this court, it was a double overtime thriller against the Huskies. Majuk going up against Akuth. Just bullies his way in. The skyhook goes down. over the outstretched hands of Akuth. Akuth's certainly got the height and athleticism. Majuk's probably got the advantage on strength as the long three is off target and the bat away is going to go back to the Blues.
Yeah, it was nice getting Majuk established down there on the low block. Akuth's leading the league in blocks, so you've got to be wary of yourself when you go in there, but he got him out of position. A nice little baby hook to get us started.
Young
Nice.
gets inside and over the top of Akuth. Again, they're confidence builders, particularly when their first two scores have come over the leading shot blocker of the league. Short, hands off. Shot clock's now down to 5. They're a long way from home. And that's going to be step out of court. That'll be waved off.
He was thinking dunk from the sidelines there. Saw an open lane and took off, but
a little bit of an extra wind up, stepped out of court.
It's amazing how many times you see those these days. Guys stepping out of court. NBA, any competition. It's not as if the lines move, Damien.
No. Quite a stable facet of the game. Shot clock's running down. Barker pulls the trigger to beat the shot clock. And it's a 7-3 lead to the Blues.
I think Lockie Barker needs to have a big game here for the Blues to be a chance.
Wow. Jerry Evans Jr. elevates, scores and is fouled. You couldn't miss that, could you? So Majuk picks up foul number 1. And that's a sweet-looking free throw. Evans Jr. comes into today's game, averaging 20 points and 7 rebounds per contest. So some full-court pressure by Ballarat. Now Hatzia Merovic. What an important player he is for the Blues. Barker gets inside, gets bumped. So Kwani will pick up his first foul. But Barker, you mentioned he probably needs a big game today. Well, he started off in very good shape.
Yeah, he's been aggressive, taking it to the rack a couple of times, and we know he can shoot his three, but if he hits a couple from the outside, then it really opens those lanes when the defence closes out on him.
And you build someone up, and they miss a free throw. But he's spent a lot of time with the Sydney Kings as a development player over the last few years.
Yeah, I heard last year there was some, training sessions up in Sydney that he really dominated and showed his wares up there. He's really a high-class player that, still developing, and elevation from Fox there. So I think it was a great signing him coming here, gave him the opportunity to really show his wares around some quality players. So
Bozeman pulls the trigger at 2. Bozeman's such a streaky shooter. He gets going. He can put 3 or 4 up in quick time. Saw that against the Huskies as Short gets inside. For a young player like Short, he's such a savvy player, isn't he? Able to create something from nothing. Talk about savvy players.
Nice.
Hatzia Merovic with the feed.
Really important that they got off to a good start here. Blues, which they have so far. It's really hard to chase this Miners team down. If they get a roll on, they can fill it up pretty quick.
Young won that battle up in the air. Barker's long and Young gets the board warning, in my opinion, given the way the officials have called a game this season.
They might just do that on a broken play here. They might have a chat to him. They can't really stop play to call it, but it was pretty obvious.
Bozeman nearly stepped out of court himself. Pulls the trigger and is fouled. Short, gets him on the arm. But some great rebounding by the Blues has really opened it up a little bit for them.
Personal fouls on number 5, Sam Short, his first. He subs out.
So you know, you're telling me about a man that Brendan Joyce is pretty high on. Well, he's just coming off the bench following a return from injury.
Yes, kind of number 1 here, Coleman.
Marquise Coleman.
He was out injured at the start of the season. He's just working back into some form, and he's a really athletic player. It shows the depth of this squad that they can afford to run him into some form through the bench. As you know, Sam Short and Jerry Evans take a break on the bench. They don't really lose a lot.
Bozeman makes 2. It's a 5-point lead to the Blues.
So the Blues now up by 5. And Marquise Coleman coming off the bench. What a luxury it is to bring someone like him off the bench. Returning from injury and you're 10-1.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop Fox down there that low. Need to either send some help or keep him out of the paint.
Josh Fox.
So Fox draws the N1. We're going to see a substitution for the Blues, and Alistair McDonald is going to come in, and it looks like Damon Bozeman will check out.
He was looking in the opposite direction there, Damon. Didn't really want to come off it, I think. He was ignoring the Alistair coming to sit him down.
I think he knew he was being subbed and tried to make every effort to not be subbed.
He certainly did.
That free throw was well short. Almost lucky to hit the rim. And now the Blues up by 3. McDonald with a wraparound to Majuk.
Yes.
Lovely heads-up play by McDonald. And just as good finish by Majuk. Deep seal inside, they didn't go to him.
There's the thing with the Couth guarding Majuk. He's going to be chasing blocks and chasing rebounds, and that's where you can get easy buckets. Fox for easy 2.
Hatzio
There you
Mirovic.
go, Iggy. Yes.
And 1.
Perfect play for Iggy. A bit of a hesitation dribble, taking them off the outside lane and getting all the way to the bucket. That's where he's most dangerous.
Tristan Fisher could not stay in front of Hatzio Mirovic, giving up his first personal.
Okay, now
He's played just 1 minute.
Here's the crunch time for the Blues. They've gone to their bench. They're 5, hopefully 6 points up after this. 3 minutes to go. If they're going to any chance of causing an upset here, the bench need to at least hold their own with the Miners. Oh, good defence. Bad luck.
Just came off McDonald's lead, but he read that really well to stay in front of Coleman.
He's got him sussed out that he's a left-hander already. And overplayed him there.
I'm sure, like many teams, they've been scouting the Miners probably just that extra little bit, given where they're sitting on the ladder. Got a bit of a target on their back. There's talk that they may even go through the season undefeated, but of course the loss has already come as a foul's drawn. Quite sure who that was. So Will Pearce, his first personal, and he's been on the court for about 10 seconds. But Pearce has been a real find for the Blues this season, been able to provide an offensive spark, but also maintain the defensive intensity. Of course, Tom Garrett coming off the bench as well, checked in at the same time. So Coleman has opened his scoring account.
Coleman makes 2 substitution minors. Jeff Fox out. Jerry Evans, junior return. 4-point lead.
So the Miners already have 5 scorers. Kleiny guarding Hadziemirovic, who kicks out to Pierce. They go straight back to Majuk. Good first step. He slips over. Gets it back out. Oh, a lot of contact.
Oh, Iggy.
A high arc,
luck.
it doesn't hit
No,
the
it
rim,
didn't
and
hit
that'll
the
be
rim.
a shot clock violation. But Majuk just lost his footing. Slipped over.
He had him beaten then. He was going to come up on the other side of the ring. It just lost his footing.
It's a great turn of pace. Majuk, Akuth, short, ends up with it, and he's fouled. And I think Akuth may have hurt himself.
Yeah, it looked like he copped a finger in the eye or something there.
Personal fouls on number 11, William Pierce.
I think he got one in the guts, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, he's doubled over.
Short to the line to shoot 2 for the Miners.
Could have even been friendly fire,
could have been.
but short at the line.
And Sam Short's been a quality player in this league and this level for the last couple of years. He's on the Melbourne United
Short
squad.
makes 1.
Was with them all last year and back again with them this year. So again, those NBL quality players playing locally. It's fantastic to get down and see these guys play.
Hadziemirovic with the tough step back over Akuth.
Yeah, Coleman's looking to be aggressive offensively, and you know, I think that's really the best part of this league, Damien, is the opportunity for people to come down to their local stadium and see these sort of quality guys. How close you are to the action, you know, nearly all of these local stadiums. You know, you've got the rep kids here, and you know, it's a fantastic afternoon out for families or Saturday nights to come down with the kids and watch some of the best basketball players in the country go to work.
And again, after the game, the players are all very accessible as well, able to sign autographs, and they mingle with the fans after every game.
Yeah, that's fantastic and really important in engaging the local communities. You know, they do a lot of work in that area.
Down here at Frankston in particular, a number of the players on this Blues roster are involved with the juniors. Nigel Young has been helping out with the girls program. Coleman tried to read Hadziemirovic, and now I think we're going to have a warning.
The ref didn't like that. Coleman showed a little bit of angst at that call. The ref sort of gave him the death stare.
But you know what? This is what I don't like. The players are people. They're emotional. They're allowed to show some emotion. We don't want to take that away from the game. And this is where I don't like the officiating, where they're just saying, nah, we don't want to see any of that. Well, hang on a minute. I think the fans do. We want to see that they're real people. They get frustrated just like you and I.
Yeah, that's right. It's a fine line, Damien. I mean, the stuff we used to get away in our day wouldn't be tolerated nowhere near these days. And fix that, yes.
Young cleans up.
And you'd like them to be, you know, the refs are human as well. So, I mean, they don't like copping it all the time either, I'm sure. But sometimes, especially at the end of games, we saw a tech foul at a crucial point last week. It was definitely a frustration. You know, mainly, I don't know what was said to the ref, but it might have been more of a frustration at himself rather than anything personal to the ref. But you've got to, as a ref as well, be able to acknowledge that, and you don't like seeing that sort of call maybe decide a game.
So the Blues break down the full court defensive pressure. Yeah, the players get frustrated. They want to vent it. They want to let it out. As long as it's not derogatory, I personally don't see an issue with it.
Oh.
Block and one to Bozeman. Quani will pick up a foul. I think that'll be his second. It is. And
Choco will get him out here, I'd say.
yeah, he goes straight to the bench.
The basket counts for Damon
It's not going to risk him early.
the 17.
Blues leading by 5 and a chance to make it 6. So a promising start by the Blues. And we were talking before we went on air that if there was ever a time the Blues were going to catch Ballarat with the roster they got, it'll be today. Even though they're missing Trist, very much so. And having seen all the games with Trist in action with Majuk, they haven't really got the chemistry right yet. They haven't been able to get that. And in fact, they're probably taken space away from each other.
Yeah, that's right. They've really at least drawn the inside matchups at the moment. The benches come in and done a job for the Blues, so they couldn't be happier with the start, I think.
Oh, Bozeman gets the steal.
And he's going to shoot it. Get in. Ballarat.
If that had gone in, that would have brought the house down.
Yeah, it would have been a good shot in the arm for the Blues going into the quarter times.
So the Blues are playing a zone at the moment. Jared Moss, little used this season. He's into the game as well, as we see a three-pointer way off, but the offensive board, and a technical's been called.
Who's that on?
It's on Fox.
Delay of game. So must have been the second instance that they've already warned them for.
Delay of game, number 21, Josh Fox, his first personal foul.
So he's made the shot and interfered with the ball after it comes through the net. They do get a warning for the first one of them, so there must have been a warning early on that we didn't see, and so second instance is a tech foul.
So McDonald now at the free throw line. Of course, the Miners did get that bucket. That counted.
It does, and yeah, Josh Fox is a big body out there. He reminds me a lot of Mika Fakona from the NBL. Just a hard-working, do anything for his team, but you know, he probably does have a few more offensive weapons than Vicker, but you know, got that certain body shape and you know, sets hard picks for his teammates in offense, goes hard to the boards in defense, not scared to step up and take the charge. So,
well, Fox is now the leading scorer of the game. He's got 8, but the Blues are up by 4 and a chance to extend that margin. Shot clock down. Bozeman pulls. He's off target.
Get on it. Good boy.
Offensive rebound by
Right.
Hatzir Maravich.
One shot now.
So
It's about the same. The shot clock and the game clock are
just a fraction of a second. Step back, McDonald. That's long, and that's going to be the end of the quarter.
End of the first quarter here at Frankston Basketball Stadium.
And it's a 25-21 lead to the Frankston RSL Blues. And if you're Coach Andrew Harms, you'd be quite happy with that opening term.
Yes, definitely. They would have taken that if would have told them they'd have a 4-point lead at quarter time, and they've managed to contain the big scorers from the Miners. You know, I don't think Evans scored yet.
He's got 3 points.
He's got 3. He's hit 1, but they'll be looking to keep them under control. They've done a great job so far. Bench came in and did their role, so long way to go. But
there is a long way to go, and we've seen with these Blues, they do start fast, and their troubles have always been closing out games. So it'll be an interesting to see how this one pans out. But it is a 4-point margin in favour of the Blues, who are led by Damon Bozeman, 7 points. 6 points to Majuk, who's also got 2 rebounds. And Barker had a fast start. He's got 4 points to lead them. And for the Miners, it is Fox. He's got 8 points and 4 rebounds. Coleman's got 4 points and 3 rebounds. And the Miners are shooting just 36% from the field. The Blues 47%. And really, it's been the second chance points, the offensive rebounds from the Miners, keeping them in this game. They've got 10 points from second chance opportunities at this stage. So Brendan Joyce, probably one of the most experienced coaches in the league this season, taking charge of the Miners. Wouldn't it be great to have your ear in that timeout, not timeout, in between periods right now, hearing what they're going to do?
Yeah, Brendan's had his second stint at Ballarat. Was there a few years ago, won a title in their SEABL, and went back up there this year, and yeah, they've got a fantastic program up there. Brand new court, it's just being built at the moment. It'll be open later in the year, and I'm going up. There's a big dinner and game for the last game at the Minor Dome in July. So heading up for that. Be nice and cold, but we'll rug up. Middle of winter in Ballarat, so you know you're alive when you're up there.
Well, you got a championship up there too, didn't you?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to play a couple of years SEABL up there, and my first year we won the SEABL and the VBA that year, and the country championship. So everything we played in, we won that year.
So all your touch turned to gold.
Yeah, it was incredible, great year, and probably a historic year, not only for Ballarat but for Victorian basketball, because it was the first time an SEABL team had won the VBA.
And of course, when you say VBA, really it was a defeat against the Melbourne Tigers NBL team.
Yeah, well that's right. The VBA used to run midweek, and all the SEABL teams and the NBL teams would play in that, so it was a super strong comp.
Wednesday nights, what a night it was.
Wednesday nights down at Albert Park or around, and you know we beat the Geelong Supercats in the semi, who had a Shane Hill-led team that year, and then we went on and beat Melbourne Tigers with Gaze and the boys in there.
Gaze, Copeland, all of them.
Yep. Well, Copes wasn't there yet.
Wasn't he?
Talking 89, but Big Dave Simmons was playing there. Ben Simmons' dad. He was dunking on us all over the place, and you know they had a great team back there. They were actually sitting on top of the NBL at the time, and it was massive in Ballarat around that time. We had busloads come down and fill the old Albert Park Stadium, and it was, really a great game, which is available on YouTube if you want to go on and have a look, guys.
Hadziemировich, while you're talking, I don't know how he got that to go.
Sorry, I was talking about myself, but Iggy got a great inside bucket there, and it's going to be vital. If the Blues are going to come out with a win here, he needs to keep the scoreboard ticking over, as we know he can.
Kwani.
Good D.
Young gets the rebound.
They're really showing the poise here at the moment, the Blues. The Miners seem a little bit out of sync.
Oh, Hadziemировich has his pocket stolen. He gets it back.
Here we go.
He's going to pull the trigger.
Bang. Oh.
I thought that was in too.
Yeah, it looked like it.
So the Blues have had their chances to pull away, but the Miners are just sticking around, doing enough, and of course a quality team. The Miners 10-1 on top of the ladder.
Still in the zone here.
Kwani from the corner.
Seem to be daring them to take those shots at the moment, and they're not going down.
Bozeman.
Oh, look at that.
Bozeman!
That's a foul as well, ref. Right in front of you. You call it? Oh, they've got one over there. I couldn't hear.
I don't know how this referee at the baseline did not blow his whistle, because he had the best position in the house.
Maybe
the trail official got it.
Maybe he knew his mate had it covered.
But Damon Bozeman.
He's electric off that crossover dribble, and
in the open court, it's so hard to stay in front of him.
Yeah, he's the smallest guy out there, but look how built he is. So any contact like that, he relishes in taking, and he'll get to the line for an extra shot. So chance to extend the lead to 7.
He took a hard hit though. They made him earn it. And that's why I'm so surprised the lead official didn't blow his whistle. And that's why there's 3 of them on the court, because the trail official did. And he gets a 3-point play. It's out to 7. And Bozeman now is the leading scorer of the game with 9. My apologies, with 10. First player in the double digits, and he's out in the court again.
Yeah, look, transition, he's
quite wisely starts to pull it out. Majuk was wide open, but Barker is at the free throw line. He's long.
Someone's open.
So the Blues now hold it up and get through a set. Trying to get it to Majuk. Bozeman pulls the trigger and is fouled. So he just made the 3-point play. Now he's going to go to the line for a 4-point play.
He's looking to take over here, Damon Bozeman.
And a timeout's called, and it's the Damon Bozeman show. Just like that, the Blues have put it out to 10 with a chance to make it 11.
He went on a tear last game, Damon. I was actually watching at home that night, and I flicked on the computer, and then Blues were down by 15 or something, early on, and then all of a sudden 3 minutes later, the lead was evaporated from some electric offence from Damon Bozeman. So we know what he's capable of, and he's come out firing today. So 10-point lead for the Blues at the moment.
Well, Bozeman, you talked about that stretch. It was in the second period, and it was the last 4.5 minutes. He hit 15 straight points for the Blues
And
in 4.5 minutes.
That was without the Huskies scoring as well. So he literally dragged them back from 15 down to pretty much tied up at the half in a couple of minutes. So.
Right, they took a 1-point lead in a half-time. So,
wow.
And right now, the Blues are in the box seat, and they're riding the coattails of Damon Bozeman, but not to take anything away. When Nigel Young is on the court, I'm big raps for him defensively. When he's on the court, the Blues are a better defensive unit. His versatility, his athleticism at that 3 spot, especially when Tris comes back as well. Because Majuk's able to guard the paint, but when he gets stretched out and pulled out to the perimeter, he's very ineffective. And of course, Dan Tris, while he's a fantastic offensive talent, if there was a chip in his armour, it's defensive ability.
Yeah, I think in this league he's probably got to remain a bit closer to the bucket.
We might have the blood rule here, just doing a bit of dressing perhaps. And in fact, they're going to have to sub Bozeman out. So he's not going to get a chance for his 4-point play. It's going to be McDonald instead. Will take the free throw as they patch Bozeman up.
So get the magic cream out or some butterfly clips or something. We just need him out there.
Well, you don't want to take him out now. When he's hot, you want him out there.
Definitely.
We've seen what he can do in the QBL. We've seen what he can do in NBL1 this season. And McDonald does complete the 4-point play. It's 11-point lead to the Blues. And after what happened in Diamond Valley last night, of course, losing the Diamond Valley a game, they would have been widely favoured to win as Short goes all the way.
And we see what he's capable there off the dribble penetration. You've got to.
And in many ways, Short sort of reminds me of Hadziomировich. They both have an influence defensively and offensively as McDonald gets inside. And this is where the Blues are very effective. They're very physically strong players like McDonald and Bozeman and Hadziomировich, Barker. Whereas the Miners are more athletic, more wiry type players. There's a lot of contact there, and I think that'll be on Nigel Young. Young, it's his second personal foul. We see McDonald back out as they've patched up Bozeman, and Young will step out with 2 fouls, and Pearce checks back in.
Replaced by Pearce. Bozeman replaces McDonald.
Now, at this stage, I think Coach Joyce will be looking to get a little bit more out of a couple of his guys. Big Dengakuth really hasn't made an impact at all. There's been a lot of penetration from the Blues that really haven't met much resistance at the ring, and if he's leading the league in blocks, he's got to, bring a bit of that to his team now to help them stem the Blues. There it is.
Barker gets it over the top. Tip in by Hadziomировich.
So, Akuth's got to either block that or rebound it. At his height under that bucket, and for a guy that signed in the NBL, you'd be hoping that he'd be dominating at this level.
And Kwani slides in for 2 at the other end. The Blues are still up by 11. But you're right, Akuth really hasn't been able to stamp his authority in the game at all. And the Blues guards have been high-arcing it over his outstretched arms as he does it again. Hadziomировich missed, but
good hustle.
Pearce saves it.
Bad luck.
And Barker
Bad luck.
can't track it down and nearly takes out the Ballarat bench.
Geez, you wouldn't want to run into either of them. Uh-oh.
What just happened there? I missed what happened there on the bench.
Lachlan Barker chasing that out of bounds play seemed to collide with Choco Joyce. And there's some words being had over there. Choco's not one to back down, and now the ref's having a chat to Barker.
Like at the end of the day, Barker's chasing the ball down. He's got every right to go and chase it down. And if Joyce is on the sideline off the court, he's got every right to hold his ground there too. So
yeah, you couldn't really see fault with anyone there.
No.
There may have been something that may have been a little bit of chatter or something afterwards.
Poke loose. Pierce feeds Bozeman.
Two.
And Bozeman is back at it, just like he was before he came off with the blood rule. Hadsir Merovic nearly got a hand on that one. Kwani kicks out short.
Get on those boards.
They're keeping it alive. It's like a pinball. It's still alive.
Box. There we go.
And the Blues now are running. They go straight to Majuk. I like this. He just bullies his way down. Lost the handle.
Bella, get back.
Kwani
Yeah.
misses the layup. And that'll be a foul on the shot. Unfortunate by Pierce, but it was. And it's going to be Dunmore heading to the line.
Those little broken plays, while we're only in the second quarter, grabbing a rebound there and getting an offensive set yourself rather than, the guard there hustling to the boards and getting to the free throw line. So each and every possession is really important right up until the buzzer now that Frankston are looking to hang on to extend this lead before the half. They need to do all the little things well, and that includes boxing out and hitting the boards.
Rattles that one home. And will get substituted for his efforts. With Jerry Evans Jr. checking back in. Can't miss him, the pink shoes. Just for those at home, tracking the game, wherever you may be. And it's the Blues holding on to 11-point lead, halfway through the second period. Oh, McDonald gets over the top of Akuth. Akuth changed the shot,
Majuk.
but Majuk hangs with it.
Too big for one Majuk.
But Akuth that time did change McDonald's shot.
He did, yep.
But coming across to block it, left the rebound open for Majuk as we see the corner three ball up and off, and it's McDonald now pushing the break. Goes all the way. Can't get it to drop. And an easy layup for Dunmore at the other end. Oh no, it's short. My apologies, he checked out.
Again, vital last 4 minutes before the half here for both teams. But
Bozeman to Majuk. McDonald to Garrett. Bozeman, he's going to shoot this.
yeah, he wants to shoot it. Bang.
Damon Bozeman having a big quarter for the Blues.
He's feeling it.
He's got 10 points for the period. He'd have 11 if he didn't have to substitute out for the 4-point play. Oh, he is feeling it. He is feeling it. 12 points to Bozeman, who's lighting it up just like he did the same stage last week against the Huskies. And it's a 15-point lead to the Blues. Akuth. Guarded by Majuk. Blocked from behind by McDonald. Evans Jr. gets inside and finishes over Majuk. Much needed basket by the Miners. Barker now. He draws a foul. And it's going to be Lingard picking up foul number 1. But the Blues are doing a really good job. Their spacing and their movement off the ball's been quite good, allowing players like Barker and Bozeman to penetrate.
Team foul number 3, he goes to the bench. Coleman replaces him.
Garrett. Barker, step back. Oh, the Blues are feeling it right now. 15 points again. And Barker has been shooting very well as he throws the alley-oop. A nice pass inside. Coleman finishes nicely. McDonald inside. He can't finish. Throws his head back in disbelief.
He's got to that spot a few times in this quarter without converting. Get it?
Stolen by Bozeman. Short gets it back. Broken play. Evans Jr. is long, and Majuk with an important rebound. And the Blues are off and running. Bozeman. Oh, heat check!
We had a little bit of a shoulder shrug there, a little bit of a dance move from Damon.
14 points for the quarter.
He's on fire. This zone has really helped the Blues get this lead. They keep firing from outside.
And they keep missing from outside, but they get the offensive rebound through Coleman.
It's an athletic rebound there from Coleman.
But this man, Bozeman, he's been on fire. McDonald. Garrett used his head, mishandled the ball. And that's a costly turnover. Gives up the foul. That'll bring Frankston up to the limit. And Garrett will check back out as we have timeout called with 1:15 to play in the first half. And if you just joined us, it is the Frankston Blues leading 50-37 against the Miners.
Entertaining game so far, Damien. This zone has seen the Blues push it out a few points this quarter, but the Miners are getting some open looks down there that if they start hitting them, they can drag themselves back into the game. So,
well, the Miners are 1 of 14 from beyond the three-point arc. They're certainly getting shots. They're just not able to convert and haven't been able to do so all game, whereas Damon Bozeman, 21 points. He has 14 for the period, if my calculations are correct. And it could have been 15 because he missed out on his 4-point play due to the blood rule.
And he did. He might not be happy about that at the end of the day. It might be the difference between him getting 39 and 40.
But the Blues shooting 52% from the field compared to the Miners' 34%.
Well, that's the game right there, isn't it?
And really, it's been the Miners' second chance scoring off the offensive rebounds. They've got 18 points. 18 points it is. I just had to double check my math. 18 points off offensive rebounds. And if it wasn't for those 18, it would be very ugly.
Yeah, they do crash the boards hard, and that's where we need each player on the Blues roster to box out, because it only takes one guy turning his head or not making contact there, and it gets frustrating if 4 of you are boxing out.
A Kuth with a hook. Majuk guarded it well and gets the rebound. So inside the final minute of the first half.
No hurry here, guys. We get a good shot. Damon wants it. Oh.
And Coleman got a lot of basketball.
Take that.
A lot of that Spalding. But a foul's being called, and it's going to go Bozeman to the charity stripe again.
Number 1, Marquise Coleman.
He's nodding his head. I'm on.
Yeah,
You can't stop me. You can't stop me.
He knows he's on fire. Just give me the ball.
Josh Fox.
So a chance to add to his tally. 21 points.
To the line.
This is really going to have to be a tale of two halves if the Miners are going to come back here, because the Blues have really outplayed them in this first half.
And the way this man is shooting right now, that rim is looking twice the size that it really is. Of course, in the second period last week against the Huskies before he got himself fouled out. He hit 15 points in 4.5 minutes to put his team back in front. Gets them both. 16-point term to Damon Bozeman.
23 in the first half for Bozeman.
So Hadziemirovic guarding short. Short with a wraparound pass. Put him
That's
under
where
the
they've
pump.
got to get the ball to Deng down in there on the mismatch. Let's see how he is from the free throw line.
But if you're a Blues supporter, you'd rather foul and put him on the free throw line than give up a dunk.
Definitely. He hasn't really shown much offensively at all so
Well, he
far.
hasn't scored.
No.
Hasn't troubled the scorers at all. So, first chance to put some points on the board. Nice, clean-looking free throw.
It's easy enough. When you're that height, you just shoot flat at the ring. You don't really have to give it any
Line
any
drive.
arc. Yeah.
Gets them both.
Bit of arc on that one. Both down. Comes handy if your 6'10", 6'11" guy can hit free throws because they're going to get to the line a fair bit.
So the Miners are throwing the press at the Blues, who have had their trouble against the press this season. Oh, you cannot leave Barker open.
Oh.
Unlucky. Hit the back of the rim. That looked like it was going in. A rare miss from behind the arc for the Blues tonight, or this afternoon. And now short. 5 on the clock. Fade away. Gets it to go off the window. And that'll be half-time. So a big first half by the Frankston RSL Blues. A 27-20 term has seen them take an 11-point lead in a half-time, 52-41. And it's behind the back of a 16-point quarter to Damon Bozeman, who just exploded.
You should get a whack in the head every now and again just to fire him up.
But Damon Bozeman leads everyone with 23 points. He's done a bit of everything. And for the Miners, 8 points to Coleman, 8 points to Fox. Coleman's also got 5 rebounds. But we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with you for the second half action of this NBL1 clash from Frankston in a little over 8 minutes' time. And we're back with you for this second half of round 9 NBL1 action here at Frankston Basketball Stadium. Between the visiting Ballarat Miners and the Frankston RSL Blues, I'm Damien Arsenis from the pickandroll.com.au, and joining me is Chris Ash. And Chris, what a game we have on our hands here today, and a major upset is on the cards.
Yes, an 11-point lead for the Blues at the half, and behind the ladder positions of both teams. The Blues have really outplayed them so far. It's going to be an interesting third quarter.
A 52-41 advantage to the home team, led by 23-point second half. 16 points in that second period from Damon Bozeman. Despite getting sent off to the blood rule, he wasn't able to convert a 4-point play just moments after completing a 3-point play, doing a bit of everything. So it's certainly set up. Of course, you cannot write a team off like Ballarat. There's a reason why they're 10-1 on top of the table. But if the Blues can maintain their style of play, certainly the zone has worked wonders for them in the first half.
Yeah,
and the three ball is not dropping for the Miners.
We'll see them probably come out, maybe start with a man-to-man, the Blues, but probably get back to that zone pretty quickly until the Miners at least improve their 3-point percentage, because at the moment they've just the Blues are daring him to shoot from out there.
So Barker, McDonald,
straight back into Majuk.
That's a good play. And finished by Nigel Young.
Some hops. Good follow.
So Bozeman, Hadziemirovic, Young, Majuk and Barker on for the Blues. Evans, alley-oop thrown, and it's off target for Fox. So Fox, Evans Jr. Quani short.
Perfect start for the Blues. Get an easy bucket down one end and get a stop down the other.
Certainly a great way to start for the Blues, giving something for the fans to get excited about as well. As we see, get inside, flips it in, taps it on, no, can't get it to go. And so the Miners get a reprieve. Quani over the top of Majuk. Of course, having signed with Sydney Kings. Hadziemirovic to Majuk. Fade away, way off target. Now Barker is going to have to defend the paint against Short. Can't finish. Now Barker going all the way, he falls over. Oh, he's done his ankle too. That does not look good. Hopefully he's just rolled it. I think he's escaped some serious damage somehow.
Yeah, he's just giving that a bit of a roll. We all know how that feels. If you play basketball long enough, you're gonna roll your ankles at some stage, and
he's certainly given a bit of a tweak, but the way he got up and ran it off, I think he's okay.
Yeah, looks like it at the moment.
Maybe more of a jar than anything else. We've got one of those conundrums here on the sidelines. Pizza just got delivered to us, but all too late.
Yeah. I'm not long out of bed, Damien, so pizza for breakfast is not...
Quani. Shot clock down to 2.
Good hands.
And they're going to put at least a second back on the shot clock.
There has to be something on there.
I reckon it'll be 1 second. Yep, they've agreed. It's going to be 1 second return to the shot clock.
It's on 13 at the moment.
It's on 13. It's going to go to 1.
Ticking down now.
Players were getting a bit excited because it didn't get put back to one very quickly. So a good defensive play there by Barker to get a hand on it.
So this shot's going to go up quick. We need to get on the boards.
Going to try and throw the alley-oop to Kuthin.
Good.
Stolen by Hadziemirovic. Feeds Barker.
Oh.
Went upstairs for the dunk and the foul. Gee, got up, didn't he?
He exploded there. I saw Akuth trailing him down and thought the big fella was going to throw it out of there, but he just exploded to the bucket. Lucas, a bit unfortunate, didn't drop in.
Well, there's one way to prevent being blocked, and that's by throwing it down hard. And while he didn't finish, he was fouled. So he won't be on any highlight reel for a chase down block for all the wrong reasons. So players went flying everywhere. We've got the boys out wiping the sweat off the court, but it'll be Barker at the line to shoot 2. He's already got 6 points and 5 rebounds.
Now the memories of wiping sweat off the floor as a youngster, Damien. I remember I was a Nunawading junior and it was about in under 12s when the NBL first started in the old Nunawading Stadium. Me and a few of the guys used to get out there and wipe the floors. It's a long tradition.
I've seen some of the old video when they packed that place. Standing room only.
Great times.
Spectators were virtually almost on the court.
Pretty much.
Foul's been called on Young. And that's going to be his 3rd personal, so that's a tough break for the Blues.
Yeah, he's got to play within himself for the next few minutes at least, because he is a important cog in that Blues lineup.
So Harms is leaving him out there. They had a quick conversation and said, "You all right?" "Yep, I won't foul, coach."
And we're back to the zone.
Quiney goes the reverse.
All right, he's starting to take over a little bit now. We've got to keep an eye on him. He's really becoming the focal point offensively.
Barker somehow gets inside.
Yes, nice.
There was little room in the paint, and somehow Barker found a way.
He used the ring to his advantage there and got up.
And you can see there, Young couldn't commit to trying to block the shot. Didn't want to pick up a 4th personal.
And sometimes it's better off letting them go for an easy 2 than getting one of your star players in foul trouble this way, this far out from home.
Young throws it to Bozeman. Twisting, turning, blocked by Akuth.
There's
his first block. And they're going to go straight back to him in the post.
Straight up, Majuk.
He is straight up.
Good.
Does a great defensive job. And got him downstairs with a hip.
There's Fox on the offensive boards again.
And Fox is dirty with himself for missing the shot.
Here's the sub for Young.
So Majuk picks up foul number 2. Barker's got 2. For Ballarat, Short's got 3. Quaney's got 2.
Well, they're really going with a short lineup here, the Blues. Majuk out there pretty much with 4 guards. So a lot of responsibility is going to fall down to maybe Iggy or Wilson, is it? Yep, he's in there. And these guys have got to get on the boards and box out.
So gets the second to drop, and we're back to a 10-point ball game.
Intensity's picked up now from the Miners defensively.
Hadziemirovic been very much the go-to
Now they've
player.
got to look back at Majuk.
Bozeman's going to have to fire. Misses this one, and this time Majuk was outnumbered. And Majuk had no recognition of what was happening behind him. And the Miners take full advantage through Fox, who now has 12 points And the margin is back to single digits for the first time in a long time.
It's will be a critical last 5 minutes, 5:48 of this quarter. We talk about each possession being critical, and you know, you think back to earlier in the game, and you may not think that those possessions are very key, but when it comes down to the end of the game, it's only a 2 or 3 point margin. Then each possession you get is a chance to score, and you know, whether it's scrapping the ball out defensively or getting offensive rebounds, everything is very important when it comes down to the crunch. So Ballarat are going to come. There's no doubt about that. They're too talented a team and roster to not make a run here. So it's how the Blues handle the barrage, if you like.
Well, for Ballarat, they've got 13 points from Fox, 9 each to Quani and Short, and then 8 to Coleman coming off the bench. What a luxury to bring a guy like him off the bench. Jerry Evans Jr. only has 7 points himself, but they have got the spread. Certainly helps. The Blues have got scoring from all their star players. Of course, Bozeman leading the way with game-high 23 points. Barker's now up to 10. Majuk has 8.
So we're going with the trap defence now. Miners looking to ramp the pressure up here on the Blues, back into a zone.
Blues did have some trouble against the press earlier on in the season. Bozeman pulling the trigger. Off target. Just kind of feel the Blues just need to get a score inside, just to settle. And Quani hits one from deep, just his second from downtown in the game. Hit one early in the game. And if they can start firing from the perimeter, we're not going to see much of the zone for much longer. Bozeman tries to return the favour, but it's Hadziemirovic with the offensive rebound. Majuk loses the handle. Needs to get up the court quickly.
Barker on trying to guard the big fella down low.
And Majuk took his time in getting back down there. The Cooch was in the paint for quite some time. Kick out, Quani. Quani goes up against Majuk.
Oh.
And Majuk is going to be called for the foul. And that'll be his third.
Good challenge by Majuk, but just got him on the body there as he was extending up to the ring.
Wasn't quite vertical.
No.
He did break his plane. So a good call by the officials.
This is where the Blues need to offensively need to get the ball through some hands and try and get as easy a shot as possible, because we've had a few go up from Damon on the outside, a few from Lachlan that haven't gone down, and you know, this is the time where an experienced player like Iggy's got to step up and take a little bit more responsibility offensive line. We know he can score, we know he can shoot. But his penetration and getting the ball to the ring, you know, is a real part of his game that he's really good at, and he's going to help out the Blues if he can get some easy buckets.
A great defensive play by Short, getting the deflection. And
Oh,
stripped by Bozeman. Lovely little crossover there too.
Keep going, Majuk.
And he slips over.
What is wrong with that paint?
Barker thought about pulling the trigger. He is going to shoot.
Man,
He should have shot the first one. No one's back on D.
bad signs here for the Blues. So they really need to get something offensively. The Miners are making their run now.
Short now. Good ball movement. And the miss dunk.
He went for it. No foul. Yeah, just didn't elevate enough there. I know how he feels. I used to go in for dunks like that all the time. just didn't quite get the elevation I needed. So at the last moment decided to drop off a dime to someone. But
Fair enough too.
yeah.
Got to share it around.
Well, it's your best way to become popular with your teammates is to become a dime master. Give it to the big guys and they'll love you forever.
Saray Taylor from the women's team coming out in the court and showing the boys where they should be wiping up the sweat.
Good job.
Again, the girls have got the boys back. Right now they're locked in a battle. They're clinging to a 3-point lead because it's all been Ballarat in this third term. Maybe it's the cold weather's got something to do with the slippery surface. You know about that, having
Maybe,
played at Ballarat.
I don't know if there's too much dew on the court. The Miners think this is a heat wave down here this afternoon.
And Alistair McDonald left wide open on the perimeter.
And to say that was needed is an understatement. They need to work hard in this zone, make sure that they get a hand out to each shooter and box out when that ball goes up.
Blues doing a good job of getting to the shooters. And this time,
yeah.
And one. Fox.
Just going back to the well.
The wily Fox.
Yes, penetrating dish by Coleman there, and Fox is ready to fight. He didn't try and elevate that time. He just finished it off. And yeah, he's tough.
So Pearce has picked up foul number 4, and he's only played 6.5 minutes.
That's good value for money. That might be his highest stat that he left today.
Some valuable minutes off the bench, especially with the likes of Young sitting out with 3 fouls. Saving him for the last period, I dare say. We're going to see Howie come in, little used Howie. Big man, Hadsio Mirovic.
That's what I'm talking about, Iggy. He can get that shot any time of the week. He's got to be confident enough to be the man, take the bull by the horns and be aggressive offensively.
Tough shot taken. It's long. Hadsio Mirovic with the rebound. Barker's
out
running. The no-looker from Hadsio Mirovic to Barker.
He floats through the air on that transition. They don't get the ball to him as much as possible out on the breakaways.
So just like that, the Blues come up with a couple of big baskets, and having a hand in both of them is Hadsio Mirovic as Akuth from the free throw line gets it to go. Hadsio Mirovic again. Kicks it out. McDonald probing. Goes all the way over Akuth.
Nice. Good to see he hasn't. He missed a couple in the second quarter there where he took it hard to the rack, but hasn't swayed him from going back in there inside again. Well done, McDonald. And we need to get another stop here and get a bucket. And
Kwani. He's long. Hadsio Mirovic another rebound. And look at Majuk running the floor.
Look, give it to him all.
Oh, he was there. Pearce. Hands up to Majuk.
And hit the 3.
McDonald, this will bring the house down.
Bang.
Hey, look at the Frankston bench all up on their feet. They've extended the margin back to 10. They know how important this game is. Short. Kwani. Not given baseline this time. Hadsio Mirovic shuts him down twice. And that's a shot clock violation. And we have a substitution called.
Looks like they didn't hit the ring, that ball. It was pretty close.
It was very close.
But, good break for the Blues. Now we've got 26 seconds to go. Let's work it down and get a late shot.
Last thing they want to do is give Ballarat another decent look at it.
That's right. We'll ideally take a shot right down at the end of the shot clock here.
And there's no man better to have it in the hands than Igor Hadsio Mirovic. Step back. Short. There's still 5 seconds to go.
Too quick to get shot.
Short to Akuth. Akuth can't finish. Tip in on the buzzer by Fox. The wily old Fox gets it to go on the buzzer. And we've got an 8-point ball game heading into the final term here at Frankston. It's really set up for a big one.
Yeah, it's just a massive play. He just took that shot a little bit too early, left him 8 seconds. And you can see what happens in 8 seconds down there. Again, a little bit of a brain fade, not a box out on the boards. And that man Fox is, you know, he's everywhere. So a nice little tip in for him. But the difference between, you know, maybe getting a bucket at the other end with only a half a second to go and being up by 12 compared to being up by 8. So, but good quarter by the Blues to keep them at bay, and you've got a ripper coming up in the last quarter here.
We certainly do, and Fox now leads the way for Ballarat. 16 points, 8 rebounds, and he's shooting 7 of 9 from the field. Super efficient. Quani's up to 14 points for the Miners. For the Blues, Damon Bozeman, he's stuck on 23 points. Didn't really get anything going in that term, but they had a number of other contributors stepping up late, none more so than McDonald, hitting some big buckets. He's got 12 points for the Blues, 2 of 3 from downtown. And Lachlan Barker has 12 points also for the Blues. It's all set up for a big finish here at Frankston. And such an important game for them. Of course, Ballarat sitting pretty 10-1 on top of the ladder. They'll still want to win it. But the Blues are almost playing for their season, given they lost a heartbreaker in double overtime to the Huskies on Saturday night last week and went down to Diamond Valley last night. A game that many had them pegged to win.
Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of a gap being realised between the sort of top players and that middle, the top team, sorry, and that middle rung, where the Blues sort of sit at the moment. And you know, if they're going to make a run at the final, I'm not sure how many teams make the finals. Damien,
Top 8.
Top 8. So, you know, they're being definitely a mix for one of those bottom spots of the 8.
Well, they're coming in 6-6 record. Bendigo's 6-6. Albury's 5-6. Hobart's 5-7. Waverley 6-4. Kilside 6-5. COE 7-7. Dandenong 7-6. There's all these teams sitting around a 50% record.
A big log jam in there, and none of those teams you mentioned, Damien, the Blues would really be worried about facing. So, you know, I guess like a game like last night where they lost to Diamond Valley. I know it was away from home, but I think that would be a game that Coach Harms would be.
Quani gets, Evans Jr. gets inside.
He'd be a little bit upset about letting that one slip last night, but a win here would make the weekend a success, definitely, I'm sure.
Well, last night's game just accurately reflects just how close this competition really is.
Take a big fella.
Howie nearly gets it to go. Again, some valuable minutes off the bench.
Here they come. Yeah, there's no easy games in this league, Damien, for right through the women and the men's. It's you know, fantastic standard all the way through. No easy games, that's for sure.
Hatsia Meribic finds a hole.
And one.
Gets it to go.
That hung up there for a while, Damien. I think we pushed it in.
That's called home court advantage.
It is. The wind blows through that door down there and helped it through, I reckon. We do want to confirm it is getting colder.
We're commentating with our hands in our pockets. It's that cold here at Frankston. So, Hatsia Meribic.
Just imagine what it'd be like in Ballarat now. Lived up there for a couple of years, and can confirm the coldest place in Victoria, but fantastic place as well.
Quani. Akuth calling for it in the paint. He likes his matchup. A stagnant offense by the Miners. A lot of standing around. Akuth turned down the free throw.
Ooh.
Pierce comes up with it. That's Merovic now to Pearce. Thought about the three. McDonald. Howie tries to set the pick. McDonald loses the handle. Floats it out. Merovic with a double dribble.
Got him there.
And now the big men are subbing back in. Valuable minutes from Pearce and Howie. They'll check out, much to the applause of the home crowd. And Majuk and Young are going to check back in as we have timeout called by the Miners. They have eaten back into this margin. It currently stands at 7 with 8:15 to play. So we talk about some minutes off the bench. Pearce has played 11. McDonald, of course, probably a six-man more than anything else. He'd be a starter on many other teams in this league. 15 minutes off the bench, 5 minutes from Garrett, 2 minutes from Howie, a couple of minutes from Moss in the first half. And for a team playing against the likes of Ballarat, who are so deep and rotating players throughout the whole game, a team like Frankston that doesn't have that level of depth, how invaluable is it to get those kind of minutes?
Yes, if nothing else, you've got to get rest for your starters and that to give them a blow for a couple of minutes. Role players come in and come out of games, but it's just important that they're ready to go every time that their number's called, whether it be a couple of seconds left in the quarter or in the meat of a quarter to fill a role there. So the Blues are back out there with their. I don't know if there's something wrong with Damon because he hasn't made an appearance.
He's got his shirt on.
While.
He might be finished for the game.
Maybe they're just giving him a rest or...
No, he's checking back in now.
Just as we speak, here he comes. Just giving him a bit of an extended rest. And that's what I mean. Alistair's come in and really broken him well. Been a threat himself.
Coleman, turn around. Can't get it to drop. So the Blues get another stop.
It's important they get a good shot every time down the floor from here on in. So with the lead, you can't be complacent that that's going to get you over. We've still got to score. We've got to get some good shots.
Step back. Merovic rattles out. So the Miners now can further eat into the lead through Coleman. Oh, that was a sweet stroke by Coleman.
Classy there.
So it's down to 5. It was just over 7 to play. Now Barker with a step back. Kind of feel they need to get into the paint and just get a basket.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. Sort of individual one-on-one shots the last couple of times down and bang.
Coleman now with back-to-back buckets from just about the same spot.
Now things are starting to tighten up.
And it's a 3-point game. So the Miners are now coming hard. Coleman with a steal. Hands off to Short for the easy 2. And we've got a timeout called because the Miners are coming. They're digging. And they're only now trailing by 1. And we've still got a long way left in this one.
And there you go. I didn't mean to put my foot in it, but I said we needed some good shots. There's, 2 pretty ordinary shots and then a turnover, and we go from 7 to 1 pretty quickly.
So it's certainly not the way the Blues wanted to open this final term. And it's the Miners getting a run on. And Coleman showing some class. Just 2 sweet strokes. He's up to 14 points. He is just 5 of 11 from the field, but he feels like he's hit his last 2 or 3 shots in a row.
Yeah, they've shown going to him the last couple of plays that he's going to be right in the middle of most things in this last 5-6 minutes.
Fox still leads the way for scoring for Ballarat with 18. Bozeman now is going to be back in the game.
So Jerry Evans hasn't made an appearance for quite a while. He's probably their leading scorer over the season. He's only got, 5 or 6 points He's still sitting on the bench, so I don't know if there's a problem there.
He's got 9 points.
9, well, it's a pretty quiet 9. But you'd expect him to be out there during this time unless there's something wrong.
So the Blues navigate the trapping defence.
Okay, so the Miners have gone back to a zone now. They've realised that the Blues have missed their last few outside
Shot clock
shots.
is running down. Tough shot by Barker with a bailout.
There we go. He can really heat it up. He can shoot the ball. Both teams in the zone now. We're going to...
Kwani from the corner for 3.
That's off. Grab it.
Young drags it back in. Barker probing, has it stripped and it's off his leg.
Trying to get Blues defense.
So Kwani now just 2 of 7 from downtown. 5 of 14 from the field. Hasn't quite got going. Short. Fires from deep, it's
Grab
off
it.
target.
Good,
Majuk
Majuk.
with a big rebound. And the Blues have some runners. Bozeman falls over, quickly regains his feet. And drops it. And after getting some invaluable rest on the sidelines, that's a good first one for Bozeman. It's a good one for the Blues. They're back up by 5.
A stray ball on the court.
There's plenty of kids in the crowd who've got their balls.
Yeah.
So Coleman takes a breather. And Evans Jr. is back on.
Make some noise here, Frankston.
Interesting.
I reckon you're wide up with Choco.
Well,
Defense. Defense.
I don't know, but Coleman seemed to be the one that was facilitating most of their offence, and to bring Evans off the bench, who's been sitting there for a while. He won't be shy in shooting it though.
Kwani in the corner. Kick out. Evans Jr. Air ball.
Oh,
Oh, you called it.
off the bench and cold.
It's cold here in Frankston and he's just been off the bench. And those muscles, especially the second leg of a double-header weekend, those muscles start to get a bit tight.
You see the hesitation in him shooting it then? None at all. Just grabbed it and I'm ready.
Bozeman, hands in,
the
nearly
basket.
loses it. And a foul's been called on Evans Jr. He's just trying to warm himself up.
Fouls on number 60, Jerry Evans is second.
One thing I will say, they need to bring back the coffee cart here at
I need
Frankston.
something.
It's freezing.
Foul number 2.
Maybe need one of those little coil heaters under the bench.
Barker though, he's heating up.
Yes.
Lachlan Barker.
Barker's come up with 2 big buckets in this final term already. And the margin's back to 7 with under 4 minutes to play. Evans Jr., the first one was a sider, this one was short. It wasn't an air ball. Good defence.
Oh.
And finished by Akuth.
Dang.
Tip Jan for 2.
Got to get a body out, box him out. So back to 5. Miners hanging tough. Hadsia Merovic got the mismatch. They go to Majuk, guarded by Evans Jr. Majuk! Oh, the hook doesn't go.
Lucky, get back. Come on, Majuk.
Hadzimirjevic did a good job there. Oh, had everyone full.
Fox again, making a good pass inside. We're down to 3 minutes to go.
The wily old Fox again, making plays. Hadzimirjevic, kick out. Barker pulls the trigger! Lachlan Barker is heating up. I don't even think Barker's missed in this term.
Man, I wish I could shoot like that.
Evans Jr.
Oh.
I was right there. I'm sorry to say there was no contact in that one.
That was soft, yeah.
Oh. The timeout called. But that's just assuming there's going to be contact. Ref's got that one wrong, I'm sorry to say. Nonetheless, timeout, 5-point lead to the Blues. We're going to be shooting 2 when we come back to the Miners with 2:27 to play. And neither team anywhere near the limit either. Plenty of fouls to give. The Blues have just given up their first, and the Miners have just given up 2. And in the context of this game, that's unheard of.
Yeah, that might be a factor down the stretch here, especially with the Miners being behind. If they're looking to foul late, and they're only on a couple of fouls, it just takes those few seconds off where they have to get to the 4 fouls before they can get in the bonus to get the Blues to the line. So
and
most of the time, having no fouls is an advantage, but sometimes coming towards the end of the game, if you haven't got enough there to foul them and get them to the line, it can be a disadvantage.
And of course, the way the unsportsmanlike foul is called these days, if you're not making a play for the ball, or considered to be making a play for the ball, it will be called unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that's another one that's a little bit contentious in my eyes.
Personally, I hate it. I know that it's got nothing to do with the competition rules in the league or whatever, because they're made by FIBA, but ultimately, I hate it.
Well, how's watching the NBA though? They go over to the video, and even for sport, fouls, slow it down to the nth degree. And as you know, it's a contact sport. It's to slow it down and freeze it in that sort of situation to make still judgment calls there. You don't know the mindset of the defender coming in, and playing myself for years, there's no time where you really go out to hurt somebody, but sometimes elbows happen, sometimes stuff happens in the heat of a game that they're calling intentional, unsportsmanlike these days.
You want to see the ball in this man's hand or Barker?
I think
they're 2 hot guys right now.
I think Damon's got to facilitate, but then Lockie's got to spot up on the outside.
That's pretty good.
Young, good job.
Young just bullied his way inside to score, and the Blues are back up by 5 with 2 to play. They're just clinging to that lead. Kwani. Him and Evans Jr. are likely to explode. Evans Jr. fires. Short again.
Just a hired gun. He's come in and just jack it up. He's not happy with himself either.
Well, it wasn't really a great shot in the scheme of things.
He was open, but...
And the Blues are going to go straight back to Young. Oh, they're trying to. Guarded well by Fox. So now it's Bozeman. Bozeman! Big
shot.
Bucket by Damon Bozeman. Has the Blues up by 7 with 1.5 minutes to play.
Yeah, that was a clutch shot by Damon, and the clock running down, and with up by 7 with 1:24. The game isn't over, but they've got a great chance of causing an upset here, the Blues. They can lock in defensively. That's all they need to do. Get a couple of stops here, and the game's theirs.
Just seeing the players come off the court. Majuk gingerly walked to the sideline. He is gassed. He is absolutely gassed.
Second game of a doubleheader weekend. He's logged a lot of minutes today. And look, he's probably had the better of Dengakuth. Deng's come in with the wraps on him. He's got an NBL spot next year, but he really has been a non-factor tonight.
Certainly, Akuth really hasn't had the impact that he's had on a lot of games this season so far. He hasn't been blocking shots. He's had one block shot, maybe changed one other.
Yep.
And apart from that, defensively, hasn't had much of an influence. And Majuka's done a very good job of guarding him and taking him out without allowing him to get it deep inside the paint.
Yep, he's only had sort of one follow dunk, couple of from the free throw line. So he just hasn't been a factor offensively.
So with the Miners, what do they do now?
Well, they've sort of lived and died by the 3 points so far. So with 7 down, I think that they're going to be looking at trying to get one up there, if not a quick shot inside.
And the Blues are sticking with the zone.
They've extended the zone.
Coleman.
There he goes.
Coleman!
Yeah, look. He's obviously a high-class player, this guy. Still coming back from injury. You can tell the way he moves and is able to get his shot whenever he wants it. He's just warming up this year.
So just so smooth. And Bozeman and Coleman are
having a bit of a laugh.
They're chewing the fat. So possible three-point play here will make things very interesting. Missed.
Oh.
And the offensive rebound.
That's a killer.
So now the Blues are going to get a stop. Inside the final minute here at Frankston. Short from deep. It's Long and Bozeman.
Give it up.
And now they're up the court.
Forgot I was on on air then. I'm yelling.
Oh, there's a lot happening. Now Bozeman to ice the game from the corner. Barker.
Oh, grab it.
Machuk gets upstairs.
Oh,
and floats it home. The Blues are up by 7.
Oh, I thought he was going to crank that back and dunk it, but it's sort of slipped out of his hand and gone in.
Desperation threes up, rims out, and the Blues through Young get it.
And Coop
fouls, and that'll just about be it. The Blues are leading by 7, and with these free throws, we'll make it 9, and that'll be it.
That should be it. That's
oh, no free throws, sorry. I'm just so used to being over the limit in that situation.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about now. See,
even the players started walking up thinking it was going to be free throws.
The Miners have still got another foul to give before they get in the bonus, so just look after it.
That's a foul.
Yeah.
Bozeman may have slipped and lost it, but it was definitely a foul. And now they're at the limit. So with 14 seconds to play, the Blues up by 7. They're in the box seat.
Just got to give some space down here to make sure they get the ball in.
When a timeout's being called, the drama continues. It's the Blues 87-80. Damon Bozeman, 27 points. Getting it done for the Blues. Of course, Lachlan Barker has been integral as well in this final quarter.
His second half's been outstanding as Damon's sort of scoring went off a little bit in the second half. Lockie stepped up and they've had a good even contribution across the board this second half to keep the scoreboards ticking over, because Bozeman really was the man in that first half, and if it hadn't been for him, then we probably would have seen a lot smaller margin at the half. But guys have stepped up during different times during the game, and that's what you need to do against a quality outfit like Ballarat. And the bench for Ballarat, the bench for the Blues is definitely held its own against the guys coming in from Ballarat, and it's been the difference in the game.
Well, the bench points in this second half has climbed up for the Blues as well. They got 12 from their bench. At one stage it was 18-2 in favour of Ballarat. Now it's 18-12.
Yep, there you go.
And McDonald had a lot to do with that.
Yep.
So they're going to advance the ball with 14 seconds to play. Shot clock will be turned off.
Yeah, interesting choice. You have got that choice these days, whether to advance or to leave it in the back court.
Barker.
I just think you've got more room in the back court.
It's going to be a held ball. And still going to go to the Blues with 8 seconds left to play. It's going to take a miracle for Ballarat now.
Oh, it's over. This ball game is over. Oh, off his knee. Oh, we're going to go for another timeout here. No,
Now, a quick three is what they're after here. Short. They're taking way too long to shoot that ball, and that's going to be the ball game. So the Frankston RSL Blues get the home victory, 87-80, over the top of the ladder, Ballarat Miners, inflicting just their second loss of the season. And it was Damon Bozeman who scored 27 points, got them going in that second period. And then really it was Lachlan Barker that helped close it out. 18 points to Barker, 5 rebounds. He was phenomenal. And
so that spread of scorers through, having five guys in double figures, and then Young in 8. So that balanced scoring got him over the line in the end. Great game by the Blues, and that's really got to set up the second half of their season. They've got to really work on that as their standard to come ready to play against all these teams in this league.
And they got it done without Dan Trist today. He was expected to be back for this game. He wasn't able to get back from China in time with Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And so they get the win without him. He comes back after the Queen's birthday weekend break. And for Ballarat, it's just their second loss of the season. Nothing to lose hope about for Ballarat. They've got a super deep roster. And of course, nothing to be lost in losing to the Blues, who have been a team on the rise this season. It's been a great game, Chris.
Yeah, excellent game. Both games were really good today, and great win for the Blues. They're out sharing it with their supporters at the moment, so hopefully that sets them up for the rest of the year.
Little separating either team, but Damon Bozeman, 27 points, was the leading scorer. Fox had 18 for Ballarat. Coleman, 16. Should add that Fox also had 11 rebounds in a fine performance. Coleman finished in a hurry. Kwani, 14 points. But it's been a great day here at Frankston. Earlier on, it was the Ballarat Rush getting the win in a close one in overtime over the Frankston Blues. And in the men, it's the Blues getting the wood over the ladder leader, Ballarat Miners. I'm Damien Arsenis from the pickandroll.com.au and Chris Ash. Hope you enjoyed the game today.
Thanks, Damien, for having me. It was great, mate.
Hope to have you back soon. Thanks for joining us wherever you are. We'll take a break over the Queen's birthday weekend and all the NBL1 action. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for joining us.
Good job, mate. I'll see you at the classic.